he might be a Super Saiyan by the end of this episode.
I don't know if I'm going to get that angry. I was very angry earlier because of the fanatics at ESPN.
Right.
Mainly my favorite fanatic, not really, Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen Naismith.
Who is literally the greatest exaggerationist. That's not a word. What's the word I was using earlier? I was using a word that actually was a real word earlier. But he's a great exaggerator, right?
Okay, yeah.
And he has gone within a week from saying that Lonzo Ball was a bust, correct? Which, this whole rage is around Lonzo Ball. It's not around Stephen A. Smith. But he was the deciding factor in my rage. Because he does like to sensationalize. There's the word I was using. So, you remember a week ago, right? We had Lonzo Ball's first game in the NBA. It wasn't super good, but it was his rookie debut. Mm-hmm. He's a kid. He's 19 years old. Right. Of course he's not going to be LeBron James. There's only one of him. So, he came out and had a very mediocre game, and Stephen A. Smith was on the television the next day saying, Lonzo Ball is a bust.
Right.
Which, regardless if he was in the second round, if he was an undrafted free agent rookie, to say that somebody is a bust after one game is about the stupidest thing I've ever heard. He's not the only one saying it. There's tons of people saying that Lonzo Ball is a bust, which is pretty ridiculous because he scored 29 points in a game and he's almost had 2 triple-doubles in 4 games.
Right.
So he's playing pretty good. He's just not as good as Ben Simmons. So to say he's not good is pretty ridiculous. But Stephen A. Smith, my good friend and colleague over at ESPN.
Your colleague?
No, he's my peer on sports journalism. Just kidding. So he said a week ago after Lonzo's first game that he was a bust, right? Then we had the whole John Wall, Marcin Gortat calling out Lonzo Ball, which is pretty silly too, right? Yeah. They're saying, oh, we're going to torture you. No mercy for this kid.
Yeah, but that was from his dad, though. But we'll get into it.
It was towards LeVar, but they're saying it towards Lonzo, right? Which is foolish, because Lonzo isn't his dad. And to say that you're going to go after this kid who's on a not very good team like that is a pretty silly thing to do. Mm-hmm. They're not very good. Focus on the Cavaliers. Focus on Boston. Focus on your actual competition, not the Lakers, who aren't super good as it is.
Right.
But instead, they come out. They're like, we're going to torture you. They all look pretty garbage. The Wizards, that is. They didn't play very good. Yeah. Considering they were playing the Lakers, they did not play good.
They definitely played down to the competition, which, if you know anything about sports, your coach always tells you never to play down to the level.
Well, guess what? They did. They didn't torture Lonzo Ball. He actually played pretty good.
I wouldn't say pretty good. He played, in terms of he played okay. It wasn't anything spectacular.
He played pretty good for his 5th game in the NBA. He almost had a triple-double, really. I mean, mind you, a very low stat line of a triple-double, but it's low, right? Okay. His plus-minus was good, which is not a bad indicator as far as the quality of your play. Okay. He wasn't super good. He's not even the best player on his team, in my opinion. Ingram is better than he is.
Okay.
So for these guys to say a week of drama saying they're going to destroy Lonzo Ball, and then they didn't perform, they lost in overtime to a bunch of kids on a not very good team. And then you have Stephen A. Smith this morning comes on his show, and he's saying, John Wall, you need to shut up. That's literally the name of the video on ESPN's YouTube channel. Stephen A. Smith says John Wall needs to shut up, which I think is really silly because a couple days ago he was saying that John Wall was going to eat Lonzo Ball alive on the court, which he didn't do. And now he's kind of defending Lonzo Ball, which if you're going to make a sensationalist opinion, he's going to get absolutely destroyed by John Wall, which isn't that crazy. But to say he's a bust, at least stick with it.
Right.
More than 6 days. I can't stand that. The gap of time you give these people to make an impact on their team. He played 1 year at UCLA, and now he's in his 5th game in the NBA. And Stephen A. Smith, amongst a myriad of other sports news reporters are saying he's a bust. Can you defend that at all?
No, and I said it in the charge on the episode where I was talking about Eric Bledsoe. Mm-hmm. If you guys didn't know, check it out. Cheap plug.
Check out the actual NBA show.
cheap plug. But like I said in the show, I think it's very crazy to kind of criticize Lonzo Ball in the first couple games because of the way that the NBA is. I mean, LeBron didn't play very well his first season either. Like I'm not saying that it's like you should compare the two, but it's one of those things where you just got to give some of those guys time because the thing is people want to compare Lonzo to Magic Johnson, LeBron James, like all those kind of players when he's clearly more like a Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
In my opinion, he's more like a Jason Kidd. So his impact on the team won't be with scoring. It'll be more with assists. And since Lonzo Ball is a really tall point guard, he's 6'6", 6'7", with or without shoes, you decide. He rebounds the ball pretty well for his height, and I mean he should because he's 6'7", and I'm sure he's probably been one of the tallest dudes on this team until the Lakers team. But I just think, like I said, it was a little bit too crazy to criticize him. Yeah, he had. Although the thing I will say though is that I think that Suns game is an outlier because the Suns are really bad.
Yeah, they weren't even defending him.
Yeah,
but then again, he's not going to be a 28-point averaged point guard ever in his career. It's not happening.
No, he'll be very good in the assists. He'll obviously get maybe 15 to 16 points a game, I think, but along with like 12 or 13 assists.
I agree.
Which is, I think, more realistic for Alonzo Ball projection than him averaging like the 28 and like 2 and 12.
Well, and like you said too, he's a very good rebounder. So there's a good chance he is not that far off of a triple-double average. It's not going to be hard for him to score 10 points, but he's not going to be scoring 25 a game. He's definitely going to average over 10 assists a game though because he's an incredible passer.
Nah. He does need to work on his shooting a little bit, I will say.
I agree.
He's at 31% right now from the field. Not very good. 22 from the three-point land. Definitely not good. He'll get better. It just takes time, and he doesn't. When I see him take the shots, though, I feel like he's sometimes a little timid in some of the jumpers that he wants to take. I don't know if it's because he thinks that he can get a better shot by passing it to someone else, but I mean, like we said, it's only like the first 4 or 5 games. We still got less than 82 games, but it's an 82 game season, so you shouldn't base your opinion on Lonzo Ball until maybe the first half of the season.
Yeah, I even think saying he's a bust at the All-Star break is a little crazy, let alone in 5 games. It's not fair to give an assumption or an analysis of one of these rookies' careers before their rookie season is even done. There's been plenty of rookies who don't look incredible their first year. Steph Curry wasn't that great in his first year.
And it's also the opposite way, too, with Tyreek Evans, looked phenomenal in this first season.
Incredible his first year. Now what does he do? He's like the 7th man off the bench or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay, but, it's not like he's doing anything special.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we just got to slow down. We got to pump the brakes a little bit. And we also got to realize what type of player he is compared to what everyone wants him to be. And I think that's kind of what I'm seeing from fans and also analysts as well.
Yeah.
They're expecting him to be this Magic Johnson type of character in terms of the way he assists, the way he scores, just because of his height. But they need to realize is that Lonzo Ball plays a game more like Jason Kidd, in my opinion, than he does Magic or LeBron or anything like that.
Plus, and I'm going to give it back to the Lakers, too. I'm not a Lakers fan. I actually really dislike the Lakers. But what I will say is I'm becoming a Lonzo Ball fan because of the hate he gets, which doesn't usually happen. I'm not like an underdog supporter like Tim Tebow, right? I honestly dislike Tim Tebow. So really, it's not like I'm rooting for the underdog. It's just I think the amount of hate that this kid is getting is so ridiculous for anybody after 5 games of an NBA season. But he is not going to be the scoring leader for this team ever, like we said. But the Lakers have players that they can expect that from. So don't expect it from Lonzo. Don't put that pressure on him. You have Ingram. You have Kuzma, who looks really good too.
Yeah.
You have plenty of dudes who are going to be able to score. And honestly, you're probably still going to get a lottery pick this year too. Don't get ahead of yourselves, but it goes both ways. People who hate Lonzo Ball and then people who love him are just like so crazy about it both ways. Like, this kid is the greatest or he's the worst.
Right.
He's pretty good for a rookie. He's not the greatest or the worst yet. He could be the worst.
And I think the reason why I like him and the reason why I kind of support him and I hope he does well this season is because he is a very humble guy compared, like, if you compared him to his dad.
Yeah.
Who's very braggadocious. I wouldn't say braggadocious. He's very much like a dad.
He's pretty braggadocious, too.
He is braggadocious, and he does talk out of his ass sometimes.
He's very dad-like, though.
But he is a dad, and I truly support, like, when a dad supports his kid. But, you know, he does need to tone it back a bit and let Lonzo handle his business. Like I said in the Charge video, I think let Lonzo's ball. I like that, though. Let Lonzo's ball do the talking. Don't worry about LeVar Ball. Don't worry about anything. Maybe just tell your dad, hey, look, I got this. Let me handle my stuff. You worry about LiAngelo and LaMelo because they're the ones that are going to need the support from you.
Even then, I'll say this. I don't really like LeVar Ball either. I don't really care for him, obviously. But he's doing a great job of marketing his son as far as longevity in the financial realm is concerned.
Yeah.
His son is going to make more money than any of the rookies probably combined this year. Ben Simmons is not going to get the deals that Lonzo Ball is just because of who Lonzo Ball's family is and who his dad is. So he's doing a good job of marketing his son, and people are watching Lakers games. They're not even a good team, and everybody's tuning in for the Wizards versus the Lakers.
Exactly.
So it's a double-edged sword for all fronts on this whole Lonzo Ball debacle.
Yeah, but hopefully, you know, we just kind of cleared the air with that. I'm hoping that people understand what Lonzo Ball's game is.
Yeah.
And, like, how they need to, like, approach seeing him in a way that it's not... You shouldn't expect, you know, this amazing scorer. Because he's shown you in college and also in high school, if you watched his, you know, his mixtapes and all this other stuff, is that his game is predicated around getting other people involved first, then himself, which is what I like to see in basketball players.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love the way he plays. And I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think he's very Jason Kidd-like in the way he plays. And if you expect that from him, you will be very pleasantly surprised with how he performs.